Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Shinkalion Z E5 Hayabusa from Shinkansen Henkei Robo Shinkalion Z the animation. So obviously there is a new Shinkalion show. I was not super aware of this because I'll be honest, I didn't finish the last show. I kind of just petered out as far as my interest went. Not that the show was ever bad or anything like that, it just never seemed to end. I think I watched up to like 47, 48, something like that. And I think when last I checked, it went up to like 70 episodes or something like that. It was nuts. So I guess it was just crazy popular and they didn't want the show to end. But most animes kind of end around 50 episodes. So I don't know. I got behind and couldn't see myself watching 20 episodes to catch up. But this must be a new show because it looks like we have new characters here. This guy was not in the old show. I have not seen the new show at all. I don't know if it's available anywhere subbed. If I can find it, I'll definitely check it out. So that way I can know, what's going on here with these new trains. But, I mean, they look very similar. Obviously, the Hayabusa is the same color scheme and everything, but it does have some new features. You can see up here in the top corner, the arms and the legs are able to detach and kind of swap out. You can see over here on the back, there are other little trains, and you can pop off the arms at the shoulders and then pop off the legs, looks like right below the kneecaps, and switch it out, mix and match. So there should be a ton of playability for this. Pretty excited about that. I don't have any of those right now. They're on the way. But for right now, we just have the E5 train. So we'll check that out on its own. But yeah, packaging's pretty cool. Like the artwork on the front. Very neat. Gonna go ahead and get them out of the box and we'll take a closer look. So here are all the pieces you get in the box, exactly as they're in the box. Everything just kind of comes all piecemeal like this. And I will say the directions that are included are actually pretty good, but I just wanted to show off the assembly anyway. So this is going to be the main section. You can see the head there. You're going to push this part down. And the way this works is you have this kind of abdomen section. And when this is pushed all the way in, it'll snap into place. And that will stop this from moving around, which is really nice. So if you want to push this in, you have to make sure that this is unclicked and pushed all the way in. And then that can close. And then that will close like that. And that will give you the front of the train, so we'll put that off to the side. Next, you're going to have these two pieces that have these big connectors here. You're going to peg those together, and then they're going to connect over here. You can see the two connection spots right there. So, boom, and then your little clips right there on the sides. Now, the nice thing about this is, and I can't really decide how I feel about it, but all of the wheels and everything are separate pieces now. So, with the old molds, they used to have like wheel pieces, and especially these like connector pieces that would kind of, get tucked in as best they could, but they would hang off and get in the way. Now they just come off completely. So this set of wheels here that has no connection will peg in on the inside, or I should say towards the middle of the train. And then we're going to want to, let me make sure I remember how this goes. I believe this section will peg onto the back here, like that. And so there you go. There's your completed first section of train. This section here, it's really just, it's a storage compartment, let's be honest. So what we're going to do, you want to line this up correctly so that the notch goes above the one that goes up and down, and the one that goes side to side has the larger, like, flat area in the back here. And then we're going to just peg the swords in here for storage. And then this is going to drop on top and just peg into place. And if you remember the old mold, they would have, this section was kind of cut down the center, and they had hinges, and they just kind of hinged down on the sides. I guess they just thought it would be easier to just have one piece that just clips on top. But there you go, that's done. This section here is going to become the hips of the robot. So you have this piece here just like this. You're going to take these two pieces here, and you can see how there's two connector spots right there. So you're going to peg this on. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's for later on. That's for later on. We're going to take this. Let's start with this. Let me start over. So here are the hip pieces. You can see that there is a little notch right there. And then there is a little notch right there. And that's going to peg onto that. And you're going to do that for both. There you go. Now that that's connected, you can take these two spots right here and peg them on there. So this one will go on this side. And there's a little tab here on the top that fits in right there. So you just tab that in there as well. And there's the back part of the train. So then we're going to take these pieces again, and you can see there's a connection spot right here. And you always want to make sure the part with the connector goes towards the back. And there is your other connected piece of the train. And then we're going to take this, and this is going to connect on here. These connections are pretty much exactly the same as the original molds. Nothing really different there. And then connect that on, and there you go. You have your completed train. Rolls very well. Should fit any plow rail track. I don't have any, but it's supposed to fit any plow rail track. The width is pretty universal for that. And there you go. And it looks good. I think the green metallic paint is really sharp. The stripe of pink really pops. Overall, as a train, I think it works pretty successfully. So let's go ahead, let's get into the transformation. So I've gone ahead and separated the three pieces of the train. We're going to come to the middle section here, and you're just going to go ahead and unpeg this so that you can remove the swords. And then you can put the lid back on top. That's really all this does. It's not used in the robot transformation in any way, so we're going to set that off to the side. We're going to come over here to the back part of the train, what will become the legs and torso, well, kind of midsection. First thing we're going to do is unpeg these wheel pieces. Now, if you want, you technically could open this back up and try to store these in here. I don't know exactly how well they would fit. They don't really peg in. Well, they do kind of peg in, but I don't think that'll clear. No. But you could just do a situation where you just kind of toss these in here and see how well they'll fit, and then close it back up. If you just want some kind of storage, it's not ideal, it's not perfect, but you're going to have 4 of these things just kind of sitting off to the side, so whatever you want to kind of come up with for storage, but I'm just going to put all this stuff back off to the side because we don't need it right now. So back to this, we're going to go ahead and split this down the center. These pieces are going to pop off very easily. These pieces will also pop off. Just unpeg all that. And then you basically have this section, you're going to flip this up. And there were 2 stickers right here that you need to apply. But this is basically, you know, your hips, your thighs swivel, your double jointed knees, all really nice tight ratchets. You can hear the ratchets out to the side and front to back, all really nice. So that's going to be your kind of waist and knee section. Put that over here. You're going to come over here to one of the legs. You can see a sticker that you had to apply right in there. You're going to flip up this section here, like so. You're going to flip down this foot, which will click into place, and then the entire ankle will rock out. And if you're familiar with the original toys, this is not too dissimilar to how the original toys transformed. You're going to unpeg this and kind of bring this down here, and then you're going to take one of the other pieces, and you can see the connection there. This is what I was showing you earlier when I almost transformed it incorrectly into the train because I was getting ahead of myself. So there you go. That just stores there, and you have one leg. You're going to come over here and do the same thing. Flip that around. Flip down the foot. Pop out the whole ankle. This will come down, and then you have to peg this in here. Just like so. And now you have your feet. So you can see that this is an empty spot, and this is part of the gimmick because the below the knees can switch out, but seeing as how we only have one robot so far, we're not going to be switching anything. So this just slides right in, clicks into place, and then this slides in over here and clicks into place, and then we have pretty much the entire lower half of the robot all set to go. These you can just kind of pose around however you want. If you want them straight up, you can. If you want to put them a little bit forward, you want to rock them a little bit backward, whatever you want. You just have to worry about there's a little peg here that kind of gets in the way, so just have to mitigate that, and there you pretty much have the entire lower half of the robot. Next up, time to transform the upper half of the robot. So once again, we're going to come underneath. We're going to remove these pieces and place them off to the side. You're going to separate this just like we showed earlier, and then this will split in half. We're going to take this front section of the robot. We are going to lift up this panel here. And it's a little difficult, but you can kind of get your nail in there, and then you can flip it open. You're going to flip up the head. Then we are going to flip down the torso section, kind of the abdomen. And once that snaps in place, that will keep this from moving around. Then you can fold this down and it will collapse and snap into place. And then he's got a little kind of horn on his head that you're going to want to flip up. And there is the torso. So now we're going to come down to what will become our arms. You're going to unpeg this and then bring this down. And you can see that there's a little tab right there and a little tab right there to keep it in place. Then you're going to rotate that at the bicep swivel. That will click up into place to give it kind of an angle. And then this piece will slide back to reveal the hand. So you're going to do the same thing over here. You're going to pop this open, rotate it, slide this back, and then pop this up. Now you don't have to pop this up if you want a more straight, straight across, you can, but it works a little better if you do that just for articulation and whatnot. You're going to peg these in to the side here like this. And then this section here is going to drop onto this peg right here. And there you go. We have our robot mode. We'll go ahead and give him the 2 swords that we pulled out earlier. And there's your E5 Hayabusa. He looks good. I think they did a nice job with him. Like I said, I love that green metallic paint with the pink. I think that works really well as far as color scheme. Head sculpt looks good. Very similar to the original, but slightly different. And the head's on a ball joint, so you can move that around. A little bit of side to side rocking. Of course, you can move it side to side, front to back. All looks good. You have movement here in the shoulder. And like I said, if you wanted the more straight across look, you can. And it doesn't hinder it all that much, but it kind of snaps into place nicely there and gives it a good angle. You have a swivel here in the shoulder, underneath the shoulder pad, bicep swivel. You have an elbow, a little over 90 degrees. You have wrist swivel. You have waist swivel. You have those really nice ratchets I told you about earlier in the hips. Thigh swivel, double jointed knees like we talked about. And then you have pretty much a full ball joint in the ankle here, so you can get a nice range of motion in the foot. Really, really nice there. So yeah, he looks good. He looks good, great articulation. The accessories are simple, but I think they work. Instead of having a giant sword like you had last time, you have these 2 short swords, which are kind of cool. Plus, when you get into combining with the other trains, they're going to form new weapons, and these pieces are going to connect with other pieces, and you'll have all kinds of crazy possibilities. So yeah, honestly, I really like him. He's not terribly different from the original, but I do like the way that he doesn't have any of the hanging wheel pieces. He looks very clean. There's really no kibble whatsoever, because you used to have those kind of connection pieces hanging off like the back of the hand over here, or you'd have wheels on the back or things like that. But this is really nice and clean. It looks really good. All of this down here on the feet is all paint. This is paint. The only stickers, you have 1 sticker here on the inside of the forearm, and that's on each forearm. You have a sticker here kind of in the abdomen, and then these 2 stickers here on his crotch plate. And then the stickers on the inside of the legs there. That's really it. Otherwise, it's all paint. The head's completely painted. Looks very sharp, very crisp, very clean. I like it quite a bit. He looks good. He really does. I'm glad I decided to pick this up. I'm very interested to see how, the swapping gimmicks and everything will work. Obviously, we're just going to go ahead when we get the new set of arms and pop these out and then pop the new arms in. It should be very simple. I'm just interested to see what they'll look like and how the combinations will work and what new weapons and everything we'll get. He does also have that chest cannon, just like the last one did in the last show. So you can just open that up and he has the gun hidden inside there. So, and that's nicely painted as well. You just close that back up. But yeah, he's great. Very sharp, great looking robot. Nice, clean, easy transformation. Now, the only thing I would complain about, you do have a ton of pieces here on the side. I wish there was like a nice clean way to fit these all inside or something like that. I don't know, maybe we can make something happen here. It's just the 2 connector pieces. I mean, that might work. Let's see, can we get this to close up? No, it's like really close, but I don't think it's going to work. It's the 2 with the connector pieces. Well, oh, you know what? Let's try it that way. Let's try it that way. Let's try to stand them up like this, maybe. This will work. I think, unfortunately, because of these connector pieces, I still don't think that's going to work. Yeah. If they didn't have the connector pieces, because you could easily lay these two down, and I think that would work fine. No, still not going to do it. Well, I could lay them down flat for sure. If the other two didn't have the connection pieces getting in the way, I could lay them down flat. See how they're just kind of in the way like that. So, but it would have been nice if you could have put all of them in here, just so that there's some kind of storage for them or something. But you're going to just have a bunch of these. Like, I do appreciate that they come off because it keeps the robot very clean, but then you just kind of have to keep them somewhere. So if you're going to display this in robot mode, you're going to have just those pieces. You're going to just have to put in a bin or a baggie or something off to the side somewhere and hope you don't lose them. But yeah, the robot mode, very nice, very clean. This guy's a lot of fun. I think he's a great little robot, great paint applications, great articulation, looks really sharp. Not really too much to complain about here. He's a really great little robot, and I'm excited for this line. Like I said, only minor thing I could think to complain about, having these little connector pieces. Like, on the one hand, I love that they come off because it keeps the robot looking very clean. You know, the old robots had these pieces kind of dangling around, and they tried to have them snap to the side or store as best they could, but they still flopped around a little bit. And so I am kind of happy that these come off. I just wish there was some way you could maybe store them in this piece over here just to keep everything kind of, you know, cohesive and together when you're storing these in robot mode, and you know, you don't have a ton of pieces all over the place. But the robot itself looks great. I love the accessories. I'm excited to try out the combinations once I get some of the auxiliary trains. I think that's a fun gimmick. You know, swap out different arms and different legs. Should be a lot of playability once you have a couple of these, which is really neat. Oh, I think it's interesting. They completely removed the role play aspect of this toy line. Now, I don't know if they're going to do something completely separate later on, but the original line, all of the trains came with little rail passes. And then there was a role play changer that they interacted with, and it looks like they're not doing that because I didn't see anything like that in the box. Now, the character on the front of the box does have some kind of smartphone-looking device, so I don't know if that's how he controls the train or that's the Henshin device. I'm not really sure. I don't know if that's going to get sold later on, and maybe that'll just be a role play item on its own, that all the sounds are just in that and it doesn't have a reader or anything like that. It just makes noises. If that's the case, I'd probably pass on it. The reason I bought the last one was because each new release came with a new card to go back and use with the Henshin device roleplay toy. If there's nothing like that here and it's just kind of a standalone roleplay toy, I'd probably pass on it. But hey, that's one less thing you got to buy, right? So at the end of the day, it's a great robot. I'm excited for the playability of the line, and he looks sharp. Not too many stickers to apply. They went on really easily, stick on really well, so nothing to complain about there. It's a solid little train robot toy. I definitely recommend it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.